Hi, my name's Barb Lougheed. I'm an Ottawa artist, and I'm delighted to be having my show at the Kawartha Art Gallery. Because of COVID shutdowns, of course, it's a virtual show. So I'd like to welcome you into my studio, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the exhibit and then show you the pieces in it. The title of the show is Chimerical Creatures, How We See Each Other and Other Myths. And when I talk about myths, I'm talking about our belief that when we assess someone, we're seeing the real picture versus what we have come up with based on our history, our mood of the day, who the person might remind of us, what we had for breakfast. So instead we make these snap judgments, and people make these of us as well, about the reality we're seeing versus our construction of it. So that's what I want to look at in this show. This assessing has taken on new significance during COVID, when so many of us are attached to screens. That's how we're communicating, and staring at each other and ourselves on the screen for hours at a time. And one of the outcomes of COVID has been an increased demand for plastic surgery, in fact, because we're not liking what we're seeing. So that's what I want to look at, the assessment process. These creatures, these chimerical creatures, I'm using to stand in for humans so that I can unmoor the assessment process a little bit. So we have to work harder to come up with our assessments. What are these creatures about? How do we respond to them? The second reason I'm using these creatures is that they've come up in my work right from the beginning. In fact, they keep popping up in my work, and mostly I do abstract. So along with the lines and circles and organic shapes, these little creatures show up, and I have to decide whether to erase them or engage with them, bring them into the piece. But I have to interact with them. This is the first time I've decided, why don't I give them center stage and let them do what they're going to do. So it's been a fun process, and the series has been a fun series. I hope you're going to enjoy it too. So these creatures are sitting for their portraits. So the chairs that they're sitting in work to give you additional information about the sitter, the backgrounds. The series is located in time, so there's some pieces that go back to the 60s, some in right up to current COVID times. And the chairs work as art forms too. They function as art forms too. There's high chairs, easy chairs, Baroque chairs, bar stools. What else do I want to tell you? Most of the series are the portraits, and then the final four are creatures just standing on their own in space. So you have to work a little harder still to figure out what they are. I think that's it. I'll just get right into showing you the pieces. So the first one here is an easy chair, and old-timey wallpaper, doilies, and the creature itself sort of looks to me like a grandmotherly, benevolent presence. It's cozy, and it's kind of a kind vibe on it. It's that. The next one is, I see it as an exploration piece about this little creature infant is throwing all the rattles out and waiting for someone to come and pick them up and give it back to it so it can throw it out again. So it's about engaging with the world and experimenting and testing our limits. This piece is about It's got a downtown quality, downtown New York, Toronto, and it's got this dramatic backdrop, the minimalist chair, the shishi carpet, and the creature itself is sculptural, and it's kind of a scripted performance. It's closed off, but there's a beauty to it. So I see it as how we present ourselves in the world, how we sort of protect ourselves and present what looks more art-like. This one is kind of self-explanatory. The COVID mask, and you can sense the agitation in the character, I hope, by the wall and the hair and the arms that are looking overwrought. And that's just about what we've been through this last while, these last 2 years, and what an emotional toll it's taken on us. This is this little guy is sort of a king-like creature. Got the Louis XIV carpet coloring, Marie Antoinette coloring, and he's got these crown-like growths in his head, and this barricade that's saying "back off, stay back." But at the same time, he's got sort of a quizzical expression on his face, and he doesn't look quite as imperious as he might. This is about, I picture that as being in a basement. It's kind of washed out colors. This easy chair and the Diet Coke are the only two props, and this creature is, it's hard to tell if it's lying or sitting, but it's kind of a sludgy color with these sickly little appendages. And it's about, I guess, well, a Diet Coke is all one of those virtue signals for saying, I'm not doing anything else right, but at least I'm not taking in more calories with my pop. So it's kind of like, here I am, I'm doing the best I can, which isn't too much right now. This is another little young creature, and it's in a happy, quiet, gentle environment on its cozy little rug, and the only thing beckoning it out is this jolt of color here, the blue ball, and I see it as inviting it out into the world, so saying, come on out and see what's out here. This is a 60s piece with the sunburst clock, the linoleum, this flower power chair, and this little creature that again it's kind of dancing and not quite hitting the ground. It's a happy, optimistic piece, which seems to me of the period. This is another downtown scene. I see it as a Victorian house reworked, and this chair and the walls with the bright colors and the modern sort of vibe. And this little guy here with his punky haircut, and he's got a bit of edge, and it's strikes me as a happy piece. This is another 70s rec room, and with the indoor-outdoor carpet, the green and yellow brocade, the paneled walls, and the creature's got this optimistic, youthful sort of energy, I think, with the bright colors, and it's got a kind of innocence to it, I think. This is, for me, it's about playing outside the lines. It's got this edgy little guy with his skateboard, the graffiti and the bricks, and outside in the back alley. So it's about, I guess, risk-taking. getting out there. This is the guy in the bar stool, and the colors are dark. His coat is kind of this sludgy black and gray. The food is pretty basic, and he's turned away from us, so we can't see his face, but it's kind of a protective stance, I guess. He's turned away, and it's not like a convivial bar scene, it's him on his own. So it's a little darker. Crashed. This is a piece, the two kids that are having their portrait done, and again they're kind of levitating. They're hovering over the couch. They're not quite on it, so that's, I'm trying to suggest just the energy and the vitality they're bringing to this photo. They can't sit still. The walls are echoing that dynamism, and the floors are, the pattern of the floor draws us all over the place. We're traveling with it. So it's a energetic piece. Now, I was saying that the last four pieces are without the back drops. So this is the first one, and I don't know how it strikes you. It strikes me as a joyful piece. It seems to me just to radiate that. I see it smiling, and the colors that are so vivid and flamboyant. It's, for me, a very, very happy piece. Celebrating. One of the pieces I can't show you because there's a glass cover on it, so it's reflecting, so I can't show you it, and I just realized I don't have the final piece, so this will be it. This will be the final piece. Stay up. This is for me a very tender piece. The creature is, it feels like it's cradled, and there's this part is a little whiter and brighter, so it seems to me like this light shining down on it, this warmth and this caring, I guess. So it's yeah, it's for me a very tender piece. And that, I think, is there are a couple missing, but you can see those online. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for your interest. Again, I want to thank Susan Taylor and the Kawartha Art Gallery for this opportunity. And thanks again. All the best.